All right, and I am live. Let's make sure I'm getting out the other side here. Let's wait a minute. Turn up. Make sure that's getting out. Testing. Yeah, good. Okay, that's getting out the other side. Good evening, everybody. Happy Sunday night. JJ Superstar. Nice to see you. First in with a cleaned up, polished up Marshall. What's up, bully? Nice to see you tonight.
Hey, RC.
Well,
How you doing, brother?
You had your Rancho get acquainted shower in there. And
Yes, I had my Rancho shower, and I had my Rancho tri-tip today, and we had a pretty interesting day today to talk about. A lot of things to talk
What's
about.
up, Amanda May? How you doing, Kiki?
Is that real Amanda May?
I'm not sure, but
I don't know. I'm just curious.
I'm just as long as everybody's nice in here and good, or attempts to be anyway, it's fine. How you doing, Chris? Nice to see you.
Cold Modelo Especial.
And I'm having some Diet 7-Up tonight.
And I took a shower and I shaved and I changed my shirt for Rosie because she wanted me to smell good and look good, and you know,
it's nothing like a shower,
even though
after crawling around the ground.
Even though I'm not as good looking as D-Dub.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
But I have better lips than D-Dub, though.
How you doing, Goldie Con? Yeah, the flea market was fun today, and thank you for those of you who were on the morning Chooch making the blueberry muffins. I have to say, those things turned out, they turned out exceptionally. Yeah, my diet 7-Up. My diet 7-Up. I try to restrict my drinking to just Friday and Saturday night.
We had an interesting day today. We woke up. Rosie made blueberry muffins.
We'll talk about your comment on the shower,
Oh, yeah, the shower. Rosie
and what I did to build that in, it makes it...
Yeah. Rosie's Shine Shack overall it's a nice Shine Shack. She made the clearance higher in there than when it was originally. I think it's 9.5 feet in there, right? Or whatever the clearance is. You have to raise up the clearance. But the shower walking in, she did a really good job on the stand-up shower. She really poured down a really good mortar bed. So when you hop in there, there's no flex in the fiberglass. It feels like a rock. And she used a pretty good quality fiberglass, I think. And it's very solid. And my only gripe about the shower is the same with Narcissus. It's a small stand-up shower. And having just a stationary shower that doesn't do the job. The water just comes up to here. It's hard to get it to your lower body. So having a handheld shower is a must in there. Another thing is, shower curtain works well, but it's just better and less claustrophobic feeling and cluttered feeling and more. It's just better to have a frosted shower door that Rosie could easily put in there. I don't know why she doesn't do that.
What's up, Jessica Jennifer? Chris says, how does Marshall like the weather?
The weather is interesting here. It's really hot in the daytime. It was 90 degrees here today. It was hot, but not humid. And in the nighttime, it's getting into the upper 40s and 50s. It's actually really nice in the nighttime, but the daytime is too hot. It's not comfortable to be in your van or laying down in your van. How
you doing, everybody?
It's a big fluctuation of temperature. You're talking 90 to 50. You're talking 40 degrees. So
it's a big range. What's up, Fourscore? You getting excited for Vegas? All right. The trick is, a lot of people, when they go to put a shower in, they'll buy the 3-panel kit, which I bought. But they won't bother laying down a mortar bed underneath of it. And we have the same thing that happens in the RV community. If you're a person of size, a bigger person, you have the potential to crack unless there's a lot of fins underneath of that shower base.
Right.
One option you have is to lay down a mortar bed first, to mix up some mortar, lay it in, and then set that base on it. Right. So there's no chance you're standing on solid stone, basically, when you're underneath of that. And that's really an important thing.
A lot of weight.
And you can see the videos from way back in 2013 when I poured and worked that base and shaped that base to put that shower in. And precisely because when somebody comes in 200 plus, 250 or whatever, and you hit that, then you don't want to crack that.
And
we have the experience in the Class B's. I pulled out my tub because it was cracked when I got it. You know, they're not made.
They're not.
They're not properly made. They should
and
be
some
solid.
some
solid
RVs
bottom.
I walk in, they feel solid. And I doubt if they put a mortar bed. It's probably the quality.
Hey
and thickness
Monique.
of the
Hey
fiber.
Christina.
Probably the quality and thickness of the
Well,
fiberglass.
I think the shower is good. Hey Brad. Brad Rose, the king of Buffalo. How you doing tonight? Nice to see you.
Does it say how
Well,
many people are watching Rosie on that thing?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm never really
Oh, okay.
one to think I got 81 people. I'm not one to really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just it's like if they don't watch it live, they watch it on the replay. So it's like, you know, I'm not that much of a numbers kind of person. I'm 61. I'm past my sell-by date on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm happy about where I am and everything. Elvis needs to just read it. Well, Elvis. Hey, Miss Kitty. Elvis is a. Let's see. Any mortar base will crack. You're working on a flexible foundation, not a fixed. Well, I had a good floor in that shine shack, and I put the mortar over top of it.
Do you have
And
a
it's
pen
already
and paper?
it's
Rosie?
already been 5 years of that. So so far so good, Cobra John. Nice to see you. Hello, Marshall. There. Hello, Tara.
Hey Tara, how you doing?
Nice to see
Everybody
you.
say hello.
Yeah, we had a good time tonight at the flea markets. Somebody asked, "Did you buy anything?" I bought a little Hawaiian like hula doll that mounts on the dashboard. I thought that was pretty cool for $2. I couldn't resist that over there. Missy Jenn got a few coins. She's an avid coin collector, and she picked up a few coins. You know, we couldn't do the fair, Monique, because the fair ended yesterday. I didn't know it was a 2-day fair. It used to be it was on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then they would pack in the Sonoma County fair, the harvest fair. We got over there, and the place was empty. So luckily, the flea market was across the street. Josemin said, "Rosie, those muffin looks great. I made a batch of banana ones. They were half the size of yours." Yeah, I like to make the big oversized. He likes the muffins that are very moist, you know, like almost like wet on the inside. I like, you know, you don't find that kind when you go to places like Starbucks and those kind of things. To me, I'd rather have the nice crusting on top and a little bit of a darker finish on them. I think that's what's. Hey, Joey D, how are you? Hey, there's Hazel. There she is. How you doing, beautiful? Nice to see you.
Is Joseph from around here?
Joe has come up before. He's come up to the Rancho many times.
Is he from California?
He United States Air Force retired. He's been all over the Far East. He was a armament specialist, which means he's the guy that actually you know, got the bombs ready ready to go.
So where is he from? I don't know. You mentioned
he's Boston. He's a Massachusetts guy. He's from Boston.
I thought you said he's from California.
Well, he lives in California now. When he retired,
okay.
And he's a wonderful guy. He's been a wonderful friend to both Missy Jenn and I.
I don't think I've seen him
He's
before.
come to the parties. He's come to quite a few events.
Was he here with J.K. NoCal?
Yes, he was. When we had the April
party. I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember him. Okay.
When we had the April party. Hey, Karina. Hey, Deborah. Hey, Charles.
Hello, everybody.
Yep, good to see you. And Hazel, you're looking more beautiful than ever. I don't know, Sean, nice and cleaned up tonight, so, because it was an as Marshall says, it was an interesting day. It wasn't, the flea market's not that huge, so you take about, what, like an hour and a half to walk around. I think you went live.
I did a live stream of the flea market.
Yeah.
I think they had some pretty good stuff in there. A lot of people were wrapping up and leaving, but if you wanted tools or if you wanted like drills and stuff like that, power tools, they had a bunch of stuff there. I don't know what those prices were, but they had a lot of stuff like that. There a lot of Mexicans were there. They had some interesting open flame grilled chicken there. It was okay.
I think if you're average, you know, they were already packing up pretty much when we got over there. But let's jump forward. Somebody asked about Bobby. You saw Bobby for the first time in a couple of years. Here.
I was very happy to see Bobby. As we all know, he's had the hip surgery, and I was happy to see him that he's doing better, that he's up and about, that he's actually. I can't believe that the guy is 70 years old and he works 3 days a week.
I couldn't get him to quit. You know,
I love Bobby. I've had a lot of great times with Bobby in Las Vegas at Piranha Nightclub and hanging out in Vegas.
famous show.
And I was just happy to see Bobby that he's in good health. And he was happy to see me. He was happy to see Lisa Marie. I told him about our experiences in Mexico and Tijuana. He got a kick out of that. And we were talking about the van build, and he was real excited about it. He thought it was going to be cool. And I was really happy to see him. And he welcomed me. He said, "Welcome to Sonoma County." And I think coming to Bobby has been part of my life, just like Jen has been part of my life since I've been on YouTube. So he's Wingbull family, Wingbull Mafia all the way.
What did you think when he told you I went to Tijuana when I was 17?
Yeah. I think coming to Santa Rosa, seeing Bobby was a must. It was just like seeing the Rancho and Jen and Georgie. It was a must. And I've never met the boss and Janet. Hopefully, I'll meet them. But Bobby has been.
But you're good. You're a good colorer, Monique. You do good quality stuff.
Yeah.
But Bobby went in a 1952 Chevrolet that the nut was missing on the steering wheel, and they would go down Route 1 at that time. I don't even know if there was one. I guess there was 101, and the guy freaked Bobby out. Was in the passenger front, and the guy took the steering wheel off and handed it to Bobby and said, "Here, you steer a while."
And the one thing that I like about Bobby the most, Bobby is a lot more. Let's face it. Rosie is a person she's a very young soul. Rosie does things that people in their 20s do. Rosie is a very high energy person. Bobby's a lot more laid back and leisurely. But Rosie gets him to do things that usually a person that's 7 years old wouldn't do. Like go to drinking, go to Piranha Nightclub. So she motivates him, and she brings out that young spirit in Bobby. And she brings out the young spirit in me to do things. And so when we're all hanging out together, it was really cool. And so
he's made an amazing recovery from his a couple days before I took off for the Midwest.
Right.
And Toronto was when he tripped over the dog in the back porch, and he has 2 titanium rods in his leg to his hip now.
Yeah.
And I really thought that he would be down for the count, but he is really bounced out. Yeah, he cleans up well over there today using the shower and getting acquainted with that. Yeah, there's always things that you can do to make it better, but there's limitations of space when you build things, and also the cost of procuring 3-panel showers. So it's okay. Hey, Judith, how are you? Nice to see you.
I was happy to see Bobby, and I'm glad that he's doing well. And I hope I'm going to see him here again. And a lot of good memories and times with Bobby. And so that was a must. Just like I saw Tara in San Diego, that was something that was pretty cool that I met her. So
yeah, and I want to say to Monique, honey, you buy as many coloring books as you want, honey, as hard as you work. And on your job as a nurse with the kooky hours, you do whatever you like.
Can I answer Juice-O-Man's question?
Why doesn't Elvis sleep in the guest house? Because he has a perfectly fine, jungle room in there to sleep in. So I don't think, for right now it's fine. Before the van build actually occurs, maybe as soon as Thursday night, maybe we'll be out doing some boondocking around the local area. Here, I'd like him to see some of the other towns here in the county. Maybe not. Maybe after. A lot depends on Missy Jenn, because as I said, she's my top priority this weekend. Tuesday's a big day, gunning for her to have a good infusion session down in San Francisco. So it probably won't be this week. It'll probably be after Vegas. But I would like to Marshall to gain an appreciation of where I've lived for the last 21 years of my life, and see what makes this place so different from many places in America. Let's see. Monkey Boy, I'm trying to keep things positive. It's been a good day on the Rancho. So we got home from the flea market, and we had a couple of hours till Bobby came over, and decided to take my first look at doing the restoration of a 30-year-old camper van. And it was, you had to remove got the rack off the back, the generator, the box, and all that, because you really don't need that around the city here. And as
Right.
you know, it's a very bad dip going into the Rancho here.
Right. Very bad decline, an
Yeah.
incline coming in and out.
So it tends to bottom out the back of the van there, and it's
Right.
not really necessary right now. So there's more flexibility to come and go without having to worry about. You see how horrendous. You understand why I got rid of the Class A now? When I tried to pull out on the streets here with a
A lot
Class
of it was
20,
probably hitting the
26-foot Class A. It was 7 feet longer than your rig.
the
I
turning
got tail
radius.
swing.
Yeah.
I've got everything
Right.
on there, and it's terrible. You can
Was
see
the bottom
how
of it hitting also?
yeah, the bottom of it was just barely hitting, but you can see
Right.
trying to pull in, I'd always have to swing wide or come up from the
Right.
south side and pull in. And it was no fun because sometimes I had like 4 or 5 inches to spare on each side bringing that. It was a
Well, you should have
nightmare.
used the gate access back.
Well, the gate access in the back is, I've lost the key about 7
Yeah.
years ago. So I'm not, even pulling out of there is
Oh well,
is
I
a
want to tell them about I lost the
Hey,
thermos.
Shelby.
Talking about losing things, the thermos.
Hey, run for Mo.
I had Rosie's igloo thermos today that I was borrowing for some hot tea, and I had bought
My
a
nice
little GPS
igloo
holder.
silver
And
thermos.
yeah, I the clumsy guy that I am, I put it on top of the table of one of the guys that I bought an item from, and I went back and I'm like, "What happened to the thermos?" And the guy's like, "I already put it up and stored it in my minivan. I can't find
He
this
was
thing."
packing up his
He said,
crap for
"Maybe
the flavor.
if you're here next week, I can give it back to you." And I'm like, "Okay." So I just kind of walked off. And I told Rosie about it, and Rosie was livid. He's like, "That's my travel thermos.
Yeah.
That's an igloo. It fits in a little rascal, fits in a cup holder." She was determined. She went there, and the guy was trying to give her the same spiel. "Look, I don't know where I put it." And Rosie's like, "I need it back." She put some pressure on the guy.
I'm
And
like,
the guy
man,
went,
start unloading.
I think he knew where it was at. He went right
I'm
into
like,
the box and
man,
grabbed
start unloading the crap in the van because I'm not leaving here until I get my thermos back. You get attached to something and it's so nice.
it. Right.
The quality build on that igloo thermos is so nice. And I told Marshall that's unacceptable. I got to go
Right.
back and get my thermos, which I did. That was nice. The guy was cool at the end of it. He understood. Look, when you have a flea market and you're bringing junk in, you're not even really aware of what's your stuff that you put a thermos down and,
Right.
and leave that. Probably start the winter travel in January. Monique, bad hemorrhoid sufferer. How are you? Yeah, the muffins turned out great. So yeah, I'm not going to leave without my thermos from the fair, and I didn't leave.
Rosie was determined to get it back, and I was, the guy was like, "Look, I can't find it." I'm like, well, I don't know what I was supposed to do at that point. What am I going to do? Hold the guy hostage for a thermos? I mean,
Well, I bought something exactly from that guy earlier. The little Hawaiian dashboard hula dancer.
did you actually buy something for him?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
yeah, you'll see
okay.
it on tomorrow morning's.
What a coincidence! Because I bought that.
How you doing, J.K. NoCal? I just love the igloo. It's so nice. The thermos. It fits so nicely in the holder down there, and it wasn't really cheap.
The Stanley is much better.
Well,
Stanley
this was a pretty nice.
But what else we wanted to talk about was the we left there and we were getting into the van build, like Rosie's talking about the van build. I wanted to get. Do you have a piece of paper and pen where I can
Well,
show people?
I just want to really
Oh,
talk because
okay.
I can't. This is what I want to talk about tonight. It's not like taking a conversion van, which doesn't have a water tank. It doesn't have plumbing for a kitchen. It doesn't have plumbing for a water pump to be driven, to drive the water pump to pump the 30-gallon water tank there. It doesn't have a heater for the rig. It doesn't have a water heater. It doesn't have a generator that's built into the rig. So it's a far different animal
Right.
And I think you realize that to some extent today when you look at that. And I have to say, Mr. X, and you did a nice job of trying to put down the flooring in there. You built the, how you doing, Space Ace? You built the jungle room and put the back bed in there, which, I can hardly remember what the heck was back there. But anyway,
Right.
um, but what you're talking about now, to my knowledge, and I don't really know anybody else that has a queen size bed in a Class B. I mean,
Well,
now
this
I'm not
is
talking about it's doable.
it's
Yes,
doable. Yeah.
yeah.
Let's talk about like this main thing here. You know,
Hey, Miguel, good videos.
I have a Ford Econoline E250, which is 15 passenger standard van. They're about 19 and a half feet long. And anyways, the main question is, can you get a full size or twin size bed in a coachman van? Yes. Can you get a king size bed in a van? Yes.
Hey, Cindy.
Can you get a queen? Now, I don't know about king size. I'll take that back. I got to look at the measurements. But you can for sure get a queen size bed in a van. Now, what's the difference between a queen size bed? Most people in America have queen size beds. It's an American standard in most homes. A queen size bed is 60 inches wide, which is 5 feet wide, and 6 foot 8 inches long, which is 80 inches long.
Hey, perfect.
A full size bed is 75 inches long, which is 6 foot 3 inches long, and 54 inches wide. So it comes down to this, it boils down to this, right? If I get a full size bed, right, I'm going to have 5 inches more of living space in the van.
Right.
Now, that's going to give me a bigger.
Hey, Kevin.
That's going to give me a bigger kitchen. That's going to give me a more spacious dinette area, 5 inches. But if I get a full size bed, it's really only good for one person, a guy my size. That means I wouldn't have room for a BBW.
Well,
I wouldn't really have room for a second person. I wouldn't have company, be able to have company in the rig comfortably. Now you get a queen size bed, and most of you out there in America, most of you have queen size beds. Some of you might have king size beds, but most of you have queen size beds in your bedrooms. Everybody knows queen size beds. So if I'm willing to give up this 5 inches of living space to get a queen size bed in a Lisa Marie, or I could say, you know what, I can fit 2 people comfortably in this rig, 2 large people, an alpha male and a BBW. And that's why most likely I'm probably going to go with the queen size bed, but it's not all set in stone. It might be a full size bed. But that is a key thing. Think about it. You have a camper van. You're a 37-year-old testosterone filled alpha male. You're going to have company in that rig. I've had company in that rig many times. And I'm going to have company again. And wouldn't it be so much better? Wouldn't it be so sweet, Rosie, if there was a queen size bed in Lisa Marie as opposed to a full size bed?
I'm an old bat. I look at things from a practical. I've run my race on the track, but I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at what living space is available. Once you put a queen size bed in there, then you have very limited space to work in. And just understanding, as I told you guys in the beginning, when you're doing a standard Econoline van, you don't have the generator, you don't have the water tank, you don't have the heater, you don't have the water heater, you don't really have all the external venting and stuff for a propane refrigerator. In other words, a lot of that stuff is internalized within the coach, so it's streamlined. Your generator's not outboard. Everything's contained within the lines of the Econoline van. So you have to make the decisions. What things are you going to change? Are you going to remove the existing fridge? Are you going to cut over to an electric refrigerator? What size will it be? What are you going to do if eventually you want to build out for solar and things like that? And there's a lot of consider. Where's the water tank going to be moved to? You have the distribution panel that takes the 120 volts, whether it's from the generator or whether it's shore power, and through a transformer, a step down transformer, it takes that 120 volts and it feeds various taps of 12 volts off of that so that you can run lighting, you can run water pumps and other things off of that. How are you going to accommodate that? So it's there's a lot of engineering to do something like this. It's far different than just a stripped out Econoline basic flat floor for 10 feet, and here's your
let's
working surface.
let's talk about a financial. Let's talk about what's financially practical, right? And a van build. Okay, most Class B camper vans won't fit a standard twin, full size, or queen size bed. Most of them won't, unless you have a wide body or something along those lines, or something
Hey,
larger like a Rosa
Jinxie!
210. So, if you're doing a van build, if you can fit in a twin size bed or a full size bed or queen that's already pre-made, you're going to save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, as opposed to getting a custom mattress. You'll have more options as to what mattress you would want for your comfort. Then you don't. A lot of people do these van builds. They'll get a piece of memory foam and cut it and call it a day, and they'll say, "Hey, this is the van build."
Well, let me ask you this.
They won't.
I've never seen you sleep in the jungle room. Okay, I've never been in your van at night. I don't know what you sleep
Right.
transaxle across
Right.
across the rear there. What is the space? How does that work out for you space wise? How much is it comfortable sleeping transaxle? I'm not talking about
Well,
width. I'm talking about.
it's fine, but we're talking about.
I'm not telling you to have a twin bed in there.
Yeah, we're talking about comfort and being practical. Now, most people, like I said, will buy a piece of memory foam for a couple $100 off the internet, cut it and put it down and call it a day. Say this is their bed. Now think about it. This is my home. I'm living in this thing full time. This isn't I'm not like Rosie where I'm just in the van a few weeks and then I'm back home. This is my home. This is it. And when you're living in a van full time, not traveling in a van like Rosie, you really want to be comfortable. And the most important thing about van life, the number one most important thing about van life, is the comfort of your sleep.
I agree.
That's the number one thing. Weather, you can always change it. You can always, if it's too hot, you can go somewhere cool. If it's too cool, you can go somewhere warmer. But the comfort will always be constant. The number one thing about living this lifestyle is the comfort of your sleep, is your sleeping area. So the bottom line is, let's talk about things that are financially practical. Things that are financially practical. So,
well, let me ask you this: if you go out to buy a queen mattress in Santa Rosa, that can run the range from roadside mattresses that people take to steam clean. There's a process that you can sanitize a mattress. Would I sleep on something like that? Not in a million years. But if you go into a store and you try to price a queen mattress, they're not cheap. When you talk about the Simmons Beauty Rest Black, was that the one you were talking about? I wouldn't even want to see what the price of something like that is.
There are
Thank you, Lavender.
There are a lot of mattresses out there that are pretty reasonably priced.
Hey, McFly.
There's a lot of options, but the bottom line is a queen size mattress is a lot more accommodated for if you want to, in other words,
look, I agree, Marshall. If you have two people, a queen is good.
A queen is much better
than a double.
Better than
I agree on that.
Exactly.
As far as to what happens inside, I don't want to know. But I'm just saying, from an engineering point of view, I don't want any regrets later when the actuality of stepping into a place that has like now a 16 square foot living area, where before it had maybe a 25 square foot living area. If it's, you've lived in it long enough to understand whether that's okay and whether you can live with that or not. Because in that now reduced area, now that bed comes all the way up past the refrigerator now and halfway up the where the propane stove sits on the countertop.
Right.
That's a lot of room that you're giving up there. Now, if you're happy with that, that's fine.
Well,
But it's going to result in a very reduced. It's going to have to re-engineer the plumbing. Going to have to redo. Where's the fridge going to sit? How's the fridge going to be run? You can no longer use the existing venting of the refrigeration unit. In other words, I don't know, it's a Norcold or Dometic that's in there. That's got to go. And now you have to take that space back from the side compartments.
Well, again, we're talking about financial practicality. If money was no object, I would make a custom bed in there and go spend, $1,500, $1,200 on a custom mattress. But it's not on my budget. I can't afford it. So you have to do things that are financially practical, that are financially realistic.
Well, what I want you to do this week,
Yeah.
when I'm gone down in San Francisco, and you're out waking up from boondocking wherever you are in Santa Rosa, go out there, visit a couple mattress stores in town,
Right.
and get an idea of what mattresses run. Because I'll tell you, in my experience in my lifetime, I'm stunned at how much mattresses cost.
Right.
Okay,
You can get a good deal on a lot of them.
Considering the material that's in them, I'm
Right.
just blown away that the cost of mattresses is so high.
Right.
Now, you factor that in with other materials of construction, a new fridge, and a new water pump, and new plumbing that's going in, new venting stacks, and things like that. You can see why my original estimate, and I have the paper around here that I did way back in February, if I was to redo the Lisa Marie, I figured even without the bed, you were looking about about 1,500 to 2K or something like that.
I don't think that the bill.
Even the mattress itself, and I think people on the side chat, some of the ladies and gentlemen out there, will tell you that mattress prices are really high.
People can talk about how much is this bill going to cost and what am I going to need. Of course, if money was no object, I want a $2,000 angle refrigerator.
Today,
I want four
Solar
lithium batteries that are $1,000 each. If
Yeah.
money was no object, yes, of course,
Right.
the van bill can cost thousands of dollars. But laying down a floor for the van and flooring and making a bed frame for the van and redoing the kitchen, just the carpentry work of it, I don't think that's $1,500 or $2,000. We're just talking about laying down the foundation of the van. And even if I can't afford a mattress, I can always just sleep on what I have now until I can afford a mattress, as long as the build is done.
Okay. Well, that's something. That's
that's
new information.
So again, people will ask, how much does a van build cost? Well, it's a big question. First of all, you need the materials to finish the carpentry work. Then you have the accessories. What we're working on here on the Rancho is just doing the carpentry work of the build, which is the most tedious, which is the most time consuming, and which is the most important. It's the foundation of the van. The floor, doing the floor, like Rosie's saying, doing the bed frame, which is full or queen size, making a dinette up front to sit down and a table, and the kitchen. We talked about the kitchen today, which Rosie came up with a very, very interesting idea. Now, my idea was I was going to have an ice chest style 12-volt refrigerator, a Dometic something along those lines that you just put under the bed. But she mentioned something today that was kind of interesting, that kind of appealed to me. When you look at the kitchen of the Lisa Marie, just like any Coachman van, you have the stove on the right side, and you have the sink on the left side, and
No,
on the bottom
when you
is
walk in
cabinets.
the door, the sink is to your immediate left as you step up. And then the stove is there, and then the refrigerator
Right.
is
Now,
is
in
next.
most Class B camper vans like the Road Treks, they'll usually have the refrigerator in the cabinet on the bottom, and above the refrigerator you'll have your stove and your sink. So Rosie wants to replicate that in the Lisa Marie. Well, there is no way that she can replicate putting the refrigerator under the stove, because the located is the hot water heater tank. There's no way she can do that. So she came up with a really good idea that I never really thought about, but it actually will work if I want to have a smaller refrigerator that's built into a cabinet. She can actually move the stove where the sink is at, and move the sink where the stove is at. And there under where the sink is at right now, that's where the refrigerator would go. She would just move the plumbing.
Yeah, so the refrigerator would be under the stove.
And actually that would work, and it would look, and then you would have to find a refrigerator that would fit that compartment, and it would look factory. Now it would be a smaller refrigerator.
Yes, Jinxie.
But it actually would look custom, it would look good, and it would work.
Well, I have to have room so that you have, there's a certain quarter-inch per foot of linear run that you need to have plumbing run. Right. Plus, you have to have what's called a P-trap under there, which traps the odor from coming up. It makes a water level between the U that keeps gray tank odors and I mean, there's some things to.
Now that's a very interesting thing that Rosie came up with, and you see a lot of other Class B camper vans. So yes, putting in a refrigerator like that there that's a very good idea that Rosie shot me coming up with that. It was really innovative, and it works. And
there's just a lot of things to be addressed. And it was frustrating to have to stop for gas every 100 miles because it's running on one gas tank, because the other one's not vapor locked. There's some other issue going on with venting or something like that you cannot put gasoline in it, and that's you're not getting your maximum use out of your gas. Yeah, I think, what is it, 25 and 15 or something like that. There's
16 gallons up front and 22 in the back. It's not a vapor issue, it's a venting issue. Yeah. I had this problem years ago where they had to take the tank down and put compressed air through the fuel venting line, and to get fuel, and it's been a nightmare.
I mean, now you're getting into that's maybe I don't want to see it go up in a fireball. You know what I'm saying? So now there's some issues that have to be handled very, 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 very carefully on this rig. But one good thing I can tell you is, one of the things I didn't like, and for those of you who don't know, I had a 1988 camper van. You can see the videos buying it and bringing it home and doing a restoration on it in my RVs section. And I need to do a dedicated area for just RV videos. But I never liked the fact that the electrical distribution panel sits right in the same area under the front jackknife sofa. That water and electricity should be separated as much as possible. And I never liked the fact that if you ever had a catastrophic water leak in the van, that you would short out your electrical stuff too. So the idea is to get the water tank to the back of the rig and build like a honeycomb frame that sits down that can accommodate a future section for AGM batteries, for solar, to just have it, not to purchase it, but to have that built out area there so that you can lift off the top of the bed, the plywood top of it that sits on the frame, and put your someday put your batteries in, drill a hole through the side, have an area that the charge controller sits in, and all that kind of. You have to build for the future a little bit too.
Well, there's a lot involved because under the couch is the water tank, which is a very long.
Hey, huge, thank you.
Horizontal water tank, and that will go under the bed. There's also a water pump, water lines. There's also the junction box and the converter box. That's all hooked up to the generator and the wiring. There's a lot of stuff there that needs to be rejigged. The water pump might need to be replaced. But one thing that Rosie mentioned, that under the bed, not only will there be storage, there will be an area where you could put 3 or 4 batteries for solar down the line, so I could have solar and solar power for my fridge,
We have to build around the existing battery
There will be a area for storage. There will be an area for a water tank.
It wouldn't be behind the rear axle. It would be forward of that on the side. Because there's going to be actually a weight loss. There's going to be a significant dropping in the weight of the whole vehicle. The whole weight of it's going to go down because I'm telling you, this jackknife sofa that's up front is probably the single heaviest piece of gear.
And one thing is key for Rosie. She talks about living space, and one thing that she needs to realize is the jackknife sofa and Lisa Marie and many of these Coachman camper vans. It's about 5'10" to 5'11" long. It's almost 6 feet long, this thing. And when you remove that out of the coach, you're gaining almost 6 feet of space in the rig. Now, some of that space can be divided into a comfortable mattress bed instead of a really crappy jackknife sofa. And some of that space can be, put in like for a dinette or shower or whatever you want to put in. Once that is removed, the coach is going to open up to a lot of space, more than Rosie realizes. And think about it. Would you rather have, and think about this for a second, would you rather have a 6-foot-long jackknife sofa in your camper van in the front of the van, or would you rather have a queen-size bed? And having a queen-size bed with a real mattress where I can sleep like anyone in a luxury hotel room or a home.
Thank you for your kindness, honey. I appreciate it.
Is a no-brainer. And like I said, the RV manufacturers that make these RVs, they're not meant to live in full time. This was meant for just going for the weekend. Yeah. So we're building a van for fit for an alpha male, for the king of the free world. We're building a van for to be meant to live in full time and to be comfortable, and that's how these RVs are not made like that. So,
thank you, Lavender.
The bottom line is that Rosie has to realize, and Little Rascal, when she travels, she doesn't have company in Little Rascal. But the king has had company in the Lisa Marie, and the king is going to have a lot more company in the future in the Lisa Marie.
Well,
and
that's all well and good.
Bottom line is, a full-size bed ain't going to cut it for the king. So there's going to be a queen size.
To me, it doesn't matter which, as long as you can afford the ticket and you purchase it, that's fine. Like I said, take a little field trip to a store. Like you say, you don't immediately need the queen, okay, but you do need the platform. That's fine, okay. So knowing that, that's good. But I'm just saying, you really can't. This is why it's so critical. And people do ask me about, because I did 2 restorations on a 1973 GMC motorhome and a 1988 camper van, and I flipped both of them for a very good profit. But you got to understand what the goals are of the person that's going to live in that full time. In other words, for me, I wouldn't have such a big bed. I'd have more living area, more storage and stuff like that. So defining exactly what you're trying to accomplish. Like I always told Marshall, what is the most important? You have to prioritize. What's number one? Well, our number ones match perfectly. You need to sleep well in your van. That's
It's
number
the
one.
number one
Okay.
thing.
My GMC sleeping transaxle across the back, it was a drag. It wasn't big enough for two people. You know,
Right.
your head's like 1 inch from that. And I'm not even that tall, right? And so never really had a good night's sleep in that rig. I sleep better in my van now than I do at home because I put all of my attention into building the bed in the back and didn't really care about anything else. Well, there's, like I said, there's people that specialize in recycling mattresses and things. They have a sterilizing process that they go
I
through.
think to just
Time
the
frame for the remodel is November, December.
just
Fun in
the
the sun.
idea of this, if you think about it, a van
And
build.
nice to see you, by the way, Fitz.
Just the idea of
What's up, Patty? He's not killing me. My things are going great for me.
just the idea of a van build.
Look, I can't worry about killing me or this concept. I'm very happy with my channel these days. I'm 61 years old. I'm not a 25-year-old gamer that has the expectation of having a million subs. Okay, I'm happy to be on YouTube every single day, and bringing the content that I want. And if people enjoy it, they follow it. If they don't, they move on. I don't know what to tell you, but I don't sit here. I'm not like Marshall. I don't look at how many people are watching now and this and that. I'm just here to put up my content, and yeah, the numbers are great, and I've been having a good time, and I've been knocking out a lot of. I've removed 2 million views of videos over the last 2 months too, of things to try to align the channel more with YouTube search. So I'm not concerned about that. I'm older now. I've got to get past any expectation I ever had of being something on YouTube. No, I'm just here for fun and for demonstration and to be able to just share with people my life. That's it, period. Okay, travels and adventures. I don't say that to insult anybody. I say if you think I'm numbers driven and doing things just for numbers and subs, that's not the case. Okay, I'm undertaking this project because I'm very interested in seeing how a restoration can occur on a 30-year-old van. Can it be built for a very slim budget to be something that's nice and usable and yet still have enough nice finished details that it looks like it might have been a factory.
Right.
When somebody steps in and they say, "Gee, I never knew Coachman had this option." You're like, "Well,
when you look at a van build and you look at
thank you, Krusty."
Making a nice floor and making a bed. But when you look at the intricate details, let's talk about trim work, door panels, wall panels, lighting.
Patricia, we got them. Thank you, honey.
Cabinetry, every
Hey,
little,
Jay. It's all about fun in retirement. I think we did, JJ. Missy Jenn's going to do something about that. Pardon me, Marshall.
Oh.
Pardon me, Jack.
Plum Crazy, yeah, you can get. I've heard you can get stuff from Habitat for Humanity.
Tell Patricia, Missy Jenn will be doing a video on that. Thank you. You guys can get supplies. Yeah, I told them about Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah.
We have restore stores and things like that. The thing is, to make it look as nice as possible for as cheap as possible, using the best quality materials. Like some people have written me and said, "Oh, you want to put a nice granite countertop on that thing. You don't want granite in a rig like that." Okay.
One thing I'm excited.
Reason being is if you ever have to do an emergency braking, the momentum will uproot and tear that piece of granite out. It will make that a rocket that will go through the back seat of the passenger side, decapitate the person there, go through the front windshield, and probably land 50 feet ahead down the highway. Okay, there's certain things that are a no-go when you're doing that kind of thing. Let me see what Patricia says here. I got to see what Patricia says. Rosie, yours. Oh, Patricia, I don't need anything, honey. You're so sweet to me. Sweet to me. Let's see. Let me see what else. What were you gonna say? Yeah, vibration is always an enemy. You have to dampen the vibrations
One
of
thing I
things.
wanted to say about
But I want to. I don't mind building what he wants, but I have to say, that you have to look at the material. You have to build smart. And you have to build modular so that you can accommodate. You don't want to go back later and have to take out a whole frame because now you want to put solar in and you're going to need 4 AGM batteries or something in there. Okay, you need to this is what I need to do is think forward to how's the weight going to be distributed and will it counterbalance with the water tank on one side and the batteries on the other side and things like that.
well, when you talk about weight,
Oh, it'll be fine here, Patricia. We have a wall that you really can't see anything behind it.
when you
Let's
talk
see.
about weight in a camper van, uh, leaf springs are essential. And I've seen the back of my van not as high as I want it to be, and the only way to have more weight bearing capacity is to install more leaf springs.
Yeah, there we go, Jinx.
But
Actually, I'm impressed with the levelness of the van, even under load of the generator on the back and the rack. It does not really sag at all in there. In my opinion, could it use an extra couple leaves in there? Yeah, you could pop a few more leaves in there. Cobra John, has Elvis ever considered eliminating the passenger seat to gain more practical space for his needs? I've never seen anyone ever use that seat. Well, I think people, passenger, like, we always took his van to and from Los Algodones because he doesn't like to leave his van in parking lots and things. So
I think if I had a minivan, something as small as a minivan, I would eliminate the passenger seat. But I just think when we're talking about this build as something that's when you talk about like we talk about a full size bed and a queen size bed. Let's just talk about people living in a home. If you're a person, most of the time, if you're a single person, you're going to sleep in the bed by yourself. If you're asexual,
that's right, Kay.
You're going to sleep in a twin or full size bed by yourself. So think about it. A bed, even if you're a nomad or if you're a non-nomad, right? When you go to a hotel room and you lay down on a full-size bed compared to a queen-size bed, it's a big difference. It's a big difference. Now,
Yeah, there's a lot of things that need attention, Janet. There's a lot of things. I understand what you're saying, Marshall. Here's the downside of Elvis travels. Okay, and I might as well put it out here publicly. Marshall is what I call a Monday morning critic. In other words, when you're eating at a restaurant at the time you're eating, everything is okay. But 15 minutes later, when you're done and you're going to do the review, then all of a sudden issues pop up. Like today, you like the blueberry muffins. Well, Rosie, I like them. They're a little more moist inside the muffin. True or not? You are a post critic of things.
well,
Like I like to shower, but my point is the worst experience I could have in this whole thing is to build something and then later, well, I didn't want a double bed, and you forced me to put a double bed into that. So you know what I decided to do? You're going to make the decisions about what you want in the van, and because I've learned in life with you, the worst thing to do is be the person that makes the decision, because if it doesn't work out, that person will get the blame. So you have to be prepared to take on that responsibility of making those decisions.
It's again.
Because you're a very critical guy afterward.
Right. So, it's kind of like saying, okay.
Thank you, Jinxie.
If I were to go, Rosie's recommending the full size bed. Okay, I go.
No,
with the
I'm
full
not
size
recommending.
Bed.
I'm not recommending.
And now I've got. Okay, let's just say that
you gain 5 inches of living space, maybe 5 square feet.
I'm giving 5 inches of living space, and within that 5 inches, I'm going to get a bigger kitchen. And I'm going to get more leg room for the dinette. Now, let's think about this in just, like practical terms here. 5 inches is not a lot of space. In a van it is. Yes, 5 inches in a van makes a lot of difference. Because
How you doing, my world?
we're talking about a van, we're not talking about a home. But does that 5 inches, you know, uh, make or break a van build? I mean, having a kitchen
No,
that's 5 inches
it doesn't make or
longer,
break it. But I'm just
having
saying.
having leg room.
I'm just saying when you realize, see what you got to do, and this is where the planning part comes in, and this you cannot rush to do this kind of thing. A modeler gets at everything that's going to be in the van, removes the jungle room bed, removes the
Right.
flooring, removes everything that comes out. Then you take a detailed drawing, a scale drawing of the van, and you make a scale drawing of that. So you have a sheet, and then you start sizing the table. You start sizing the fridge, and you cut out the dimensions of them, and you start sliding it around on your scale drawing to
Right.
see how are things going to fit.
Right.
That's the only way I know how to intelligently do something is put down on paper and scale it so you understand the working space that you have, and then start moving aspects around within that space to see what's going to work. You'd be surprised what you see that suddenly comes to light. Whoa, that's not going to work.
I think with
I'm a big guy. I can't
well,
sit at the table now because there's not enough
Right.
room. Or now I got to sit in the aisle to sit at the table. Where's my BBW going to sit when we're having our opera breakfast?
I think that when you're building a van, yes, you do have to put it on paper, but it's more essential that you go inside of the van and you measure from inside of the van where everything is going to go to get the physical dimensions and proportions. Doing it on paper isn't going to cut the job. You have to go inside of the van and figure out where everything is going to go physically, because you're talking about a small space. You're talking about the space that's behind the driver's seat all the way to the back doors. That's all you got to work with. And putting that on paper, yes, will let you plan where everything's going to go, but it's not going to cut. It's not going to cut the cheese.
Hey, thanks, Casey.
It's not going to cut the cheese.
Here's what
you have to go inside of the van.
Let's talk. I don't know if you ever run the propane heater for the house heater inside.
I have.
Okay,
The
now
worst rate.
that has a forward vent, a forward blower outlet that goes in front of the by the door, and it has a rear vent for the sleeping area back there.
Right.
When we frame it in,
Right.
here's engineering. You got to figure a way to port that rear heat output,
Right.
so that it's not trapped inside of a frame, so it reaches the outside. Therefore, you can't always build the bed exactly to the sides of the unit. You cannot build that bed all the way to the back because you've trapped airflow from where. How's it going to get up to the house area?
When you talk about the furnace has the vent where it blows out the harmful fuels outside of the van.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the heated air that runs through the impellers. It's ducted.
It's ducted.
But the ducts have to be able to have an output area that's not confined by the side of a wood box, or confined by the rear door of the van, so that the air blowing is just running smack up against the door. It's not going to be distributed within the coach. So there's a couple aspects. You might have to have an offset there's a lot of things to be considered.
Well, ducting can always be moved. That's not an issue.
But it's not the question of moving the ducting.
Right.
It's like you want the bed to be so wide and so deep that how's the ducting going to get output to to heat up the rear of the coach? I mean, you're not thinking about that engineering issue because I don't expect you to visualize that, but these are the things that come into my head when I see something like that. Moving the ductwork is fine, but if the duct output of the hot blown air is going to be 1 inch from a wall, there's going to be it's going to be the heat will never effectively
Right.
move in. So it might have to have Y split ducting that puts it up. Might have to change from a round output and directed vent to side vents that come up on the side of the bed. That
Well,
you have an output that's along like a trench on the side of the bed with
well,
like
if the
there's a
ducting
lot of
the
things. There's
ducting
a
right now for the furnace, one duct is by the kitchen,
Yes, that's not a problem.
which is right behind the passenger seat. The other ducting that was there is facing. It's facing towards the wall of the driver's side. It's facing that way. That's not the
There's
best
a
air
rear
distribution.
duct.
A rear duct. So if you were to move that duct and mount it on the front of the bed frame, maybe on a piece of wood, where it would shoot the hot air towards the front of the van, that would be better
Well,
heat
you're going to
distribution.
see the trick is though with heat, you need a front element of heat output and you need the most rear element of heat output that you can get.
Right.
If you put that rear output of the blower heat too far forward, you'll always be perpetually cold in the bed. You'll never feel
Right.
like the temperature goes up. Your thermostat will kick off prematurely. You'll be cold in the back. So the duct probably has to be split into a Y element and fed up to wider tubes on each side that are built into the sides of there's got to be a way, this is what I'm saying. When you look at this build, it's not as simple as just throw a frame in, throw a mattress on, and
Most
call it
furnaces
good.
actually are not ducted in RVs. They have actually radiant heat coming
Well,
from the
this
furnace
isn't a
itself.
radiant. This is a blower.
This is a blower.
Suburban.
This is a suburban furnace.
Blower
Right.
furnace. So there's, um, so when you're talking about a mattress, it's going to consume the width. You might have to offset it some to the side so that you have a 3 or 4 inch channel that can have at least one duct up to let that heat into the back. So these are the things that I'm thinking about on that. So there'll be a million things. Existing refrigeration things have to be removed. So I'm good. I mean, it's good to look at things in advance and then get some ideas in your head. How would you tackle this problem? But I do agree that the sleeping is important. Everything can be solved as far
Well,
as
we have 275 people watching, and I hope we can get up to 300 people watching. But the bottom line is, I know that the majority of people that watch Rosie are, women in the drama community, and I know there's probably a lot of people watching now that are my fans on Elvis Travels, so that are watching because you want to talk about numbers. We got the numbers, but when it comes to heating, Mr. X is the person to ask. He's the HVAC technician. When it comes to electrical, Rosie's really good with electrical.
Look, output from a heater is not the most difficult thing to
Right.
understand the concept of. There's a hose that moves hot air. I don't need Mr. X to tell me put a splitter on it and run the Y back by both sides of the bed so you have output. I don't need Mr. Y to tell me that. I got to think
I'll
about
be honest
how
with you.
wide is the mattress and where are you going to put this. Where are you going to put this? I'm only throwing that out as an example of some of the engineering issues that need to be tackled. So it's good that we take an early look because, as you know, I'm the kind of person that kicks ideas around in my head for a week and thinks.
And I'm more of a thinker. See, I'm not. You know the way I think about things. Think about this for a second. Rosie O'Kelly is not a very large person, and she's not a very small person. She's a medium-sized person. Now think about it for a second. If me and Rosie go to a mattress store and we lay down, both of us, on a full-size bed, right? And then we lay down on a queen-size bed, I want to see what the difference is going to be. And then, and only then, will sink into Rosie's head.
You need to borrow BBW off the street or something.
I
ain't no BBW. You know?
I'm gonna have to use Rosie as my.
I ain't no BBW.
To see now, Rosie's not a BBW. Well, like I said,
I'm sorry you're mad tonight, JK.
But think about this for a second. Let me ask you guys a question here. How many couples out there sleep on a full-size mattress? Let's not talk about king or queen. I know most people have a queen or king. How many couples are comfortable sleeping on a full-size mattress?
You could snuggle, you know.
I'm just putting it out there. If you do press 77, I would like to know how many people.
Hey, gear grinding, how you doing? Nice to see you. I haven't seen you.
How many couples sleep on a full-size mattress? If you
I always had a queen. I always had a queen.
Press 77.
Yeah. Because you get older and you value your space. Some couples eventually sleep in different bedrooms. It used to be that's the way it was in the old days, in the 1800s, 1890s. The lady of the house would be in one bedroom and the man in the house would be in the other, and probably all the way up till about the 1920s, and that always kind of changed. Twin beds were the norm in the 1950s for a lot of couples because sleep was so important. Maybe this is a problem with today's society and relationships is nobody can get a good night's sleep anymore.
No, that's really a key thing.
I know it is.
Now, Rosie,
you're snoring and all that.
Now, I don't like to sleep with anyone in a bed.
Hey, Matronista.
When I say sleep, I had a girlfriend, and I used to sleep on her futon, and I don't like to sleep with anyone in a bed. Why? Because I like my own space. I think it's odd to sleep with anybody in a bed. But think about it. What is a bed used for? You think it's only used for sleeping? Of course it's not only used for sleeping.
Of course not.
So
but I'm saying that's maybe 1% of the time, okay?
Now, so the bottom line is this. There's a full-size bed and there's a queen bed. Well,
that's what we're going to build out, a custom frame that's going to be designed, and then he can put a mattress on top of it. But I can't mattress wall to wall. I can't afford to give up the engineering need for something on the sides for airflow and things like that. So steel frame, it's not so that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Lucy and Ricky size. So what's up, Shannon? How you doing? So I just want Marshall to be aware of those issues. In other words, you don't put the frame over the existing output from the rear heater. You have to accommodate that. There has to be space for that airflow to get up to the rest of the coach.
So Rosie's talking engineering, and we'll get into plenty of engineering, but let's just talk the basic things.
No, I hope he didn't block anybody while I was getting a beer. Did you block anybody while I
didn't block anybody?
Okay.
Who's saying that I blocked anybody?
Lady Beat said, Rosie, are you aware that Marshall blocked a bunch of people?
Well, she's a liar, basically, because Rosie was gone for 20 seconds, and I was sitting there having my bread and butter, so she's a liar. So,
I think people are saying about the job and stuff. The reality is that to get the build that you want, there's a possibility, and we were talking about this at dinner tonight. The jobs that are available in the area and driving jobs and things like that. So. It's certainly a consideration on that. So, let's see. Okay, Elvis didn't block anyone. Okay, thank you, Juice. I appreciate that. Yeah. So, I mean, money solves a lot of issues. Okay, but I'm not going to tell anybody how to live their life. But I'll tell you, we get to a certain point in the build, and it's like, well, we're running a gold mine and we're digging it, and I got to go into the boss and I got to say, boss, we're going to need some 12 by 12 timbers for shoring up down in the mine. We got another at least 840 feet to go. And the boss says, you know what, son? Well, tell everybody to knock off, go home.
Right.
I'll give you a call when we get the money together to get further.
For example, I want to answer every troll that says that I should get a job. Number one, even if I get a job, you wouldn't donate 1 penny. If I had a regular 9 to 5 job, you wouldn't donate 1 penny. So everybody tells me to get a job is a troll. Because even if I got a job right now and prove to you that I had a job, you wouldn't donate 1 penny to the build. Not 1 penny. Any of you trolls out there. That's my answer back to you. And if I got a job, I wouldn't have to ask anyone for 1 penny. I could have the money to get the bill done. I could go pay someone to get the bill done and pay $5,000-$6,000 and get the bill that I want. Okay? I wouldn't need to be here on YouTube. I wouldn't need Rosie's help to do it. I could just go do it on my own. But the bottom line is this. Getting a job is none of you trolls' business. It's none of your business to tell me to get a job or not get a job or what to do in my life. And the bottom line is you wouldn't help me out 1 penny with the build anyway. Even if I had a job, you wouldn't donate to the build. So it really makes no difference to tell me to get a job because it doesn't change anything with a troll. And you can feed the trolls all you want.
I'm not feeding the trolls. I got blinders on, Marshall. You feed them. I don't feed them. These aren't trolls on my channel.
People tell me to get a job or
Marshall,
trolls.
look, I got blinders on.
Yeah.
Whether you get a job or not is not consequential to me.
Yeah. It's not.
I have one mission to build out and do a van restoration. All I have to care about is material and money. That's it. I don't care about the job. That's not my department.
Right.
Okay, finance is not my department.
Mouse toes.
I'm not trolling you about a job. Okay? For me, I've always enjoyed working. I'm not you. You're running your own life. You're on YouTube. That's fine. All I see is what I need to do the job. That's it. So as far as provisioning that, I think that you would agree that's your responsibility to provision that. True or not?
Right.
Right. Beyond that, I don't care. You know, it's not my department. I'm not trolling you about that. I'm just saying that there's money that's going to be required. Can it be done cheaply? Of course, it can be done. Of course.
And if Rosie doesn't want to do the build, I'm not forcing her to do it. She doesn't have to do the build. She doesn't have to work on the build. I'm fine with it, you know. And like I said, people tell me to get a job. It's not going to make a difference. In my life, you're not going to donate to me anyway. It doesn't make a difference.
I'm personally past that. Yeah, I'm not getting involved.
And if she doesn't want to do the build, she doesn't have to do the build. I'm not forcing Rosie to do the build. I've told her before. She doesn't have to do it at all. She doesn't have to lift 1 finger. I don't really. I can live in the van the way that it is and continue living in my van.
I like the challenge. I do enjoy the challenge of it. I do enjoy I love the aspect of the challenge of it. But I'm not gonna fight the battle of the job, and it's not. I'm tired.
But the troll's having this mass amount of energy to tell me to get a job. It has nothing to do with the van build. Absolutely nothing. It has to do with us doing a van build. If my fans will support me and donate towards a van build, it has nothing to do with me getting a job.
How you
it has
doing,
nothing to do with it.
What's up?
And you people can bring that up all you want, and you can feed into Rosie's and have 300, 400, 500 people watching, and she can feed into you guys. But that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
I'm not feeding into anybody, Marshall.
No.
I don't know.
I'm not telling you how to run your channel. I don't know how many times I have to
tell. I'm not a numbers driven.
But on my channel, if
anybody ever hear me ask how many people do I have watching?
Yeah.
How many people does Marshall have watching right now?
I don't care. We have
because I don't do it.
I'm too old. But anybody tells me on my channel and other channels to get a job, I'll ban you.
I'm too old for that bullshit. Yeah. I don't have my days aren't unlimited. Okay?
You can say get a job.
The last thing I'm going to worry about. The last thing I'm going to worry about is that. Okay, you're here because I told you, yes, I would do this restoration on your van, plain and simple. Okay, but you're going to have to take some responsibility, the responsibility for the money to do the build. Yes, can it be done cheaply? Yes, if it's done smartly, and it's got to be done safely too.
We're not building the Taj Mahal, or all we'll do is putting a floor in the van.
But you're going to look at the inside of it and say, it's going to be like, you know, whoever sang the song, is that all there is? You know, the love song. I don't want you to look at it and
I mean,
say,
we're
could
not
we,
building.
could
We're
we,
not building the Taj
no, I don't
Mahal
want you
here.
to look at it.
We're
And say,
not
could we
building
have
the Taj
used a
Mahal here.
nicer wood or
You
that,
know?
you know, that wood finish?
How much does a floor? We're talking about getting a marine wood, laying down a vinyl floor,
refrigerator.
making a bed frame, and putting in a dinette. And we're just talking about wood and screws and brackets. I'm not building the Taj Mahal here.
No, we're not
Rosie's
building
not
a
laying
Taj.
down
We're not
marble or
building
granite
a
on Lisa
Taj.
Marie.
We're
You know,
not building a Taj Mahal.
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly. I wanted to. My point tonight was to get you on video, so that I can always reference this
every
in the
troll
future.
out there, tell me to get a job.
Let me
Because
finish.
you guys want to say that, get a job. Say it. Everybody in this chat,
No,
say
I'm not
get a
gonna
job
say get a
and
job.
get it out of your. Get it
I
out
am
of your
going to
system.
say this.
Keep on saying it.
I want everybody to mark the chat that it ain't going to be a Taj Mahal, okay, and that you recognize that fact. Thank you very much, sweetie. I will do the very best that I can on it. And I think at the end of the day, it'll be a fine looking job. It'll be very functional. And I guess as time goes on and money allows, you'll be able to add on components of it to improve it. Okay, how's that for a good way to put it?
Right now, all I want to say is this. I don't even want to talk about a van bill. I want every troll out there to get out what you want to get out of your system. Tell me to get a job on the side chat. Keep on saying it and repeat it to yourself, just like you say 7K, and get it out of your system. Because none of you that say get a job, none of you that say that give Rosie a thumbs down, are ever going to donate 1 penny to me. Period. So, if you want to get out of your system, Rosie is giving you the platform. She's feeding you. Keep on eating it up. I don't really care. I don't really care. But to me, I don't tolerate that on my channel and all those travels, because all that does is intimidate people who want to support.
Unfortunately, my panel was turned into. I just lost the fun of panels. This is directed at JK because I love you like a brother. And it's just that the panels, I just burned out on them. I just couldn't do it. Remember November, December, it just turned into the Rosie Springer show, and I was embarrassed. I lost control of my own hangouts and things. So JK, this is my way of personally apologizing to you for that, and just saying after 2.5 years of doing it, longer than anybody's ever done it here on the Boyd, and they've still got a long way to go to ever match my record. It's a lot to take on to run a panel. I don't want you to be combative about things, Marshall.
The feeding the trolls does nothing. In other words,
there's no feeding the trolls here. We're having a chat and discussing a van build. But I can't tell people that you can't have an opinion on the side chat. Yes, my moderators take out people that curse, that just say terrible things on the side chat. I understand that. That's fine. Okay, but if somebody says get a job, it's not an automatic disqualifier that I should boot them out of the chat.
No,
I mean, they're just expressing.
But on my channel on Elvis Travels,
that's fine.
I will
exactly.
That's why
I don't want you to interfere. I don't want to interfere with your channel. Those days for me are ownership of other people's channels and what they do.
And by the way, we got 312 people watching. So
well, that's because you're here.
Yeah, because I'm here.
Because you're here.
Yeah. So the bottom line is that those who are going to help me are going to help me, and those who don't want to help me, that want to just keep on trolling me and putting me down and giving Rosie a thumbs down and give me a thumbs down, there's nothing I can do to change them. I can go get a job tomorrow and prove to you I got a job.
But I'm not going to restrict people's speech because they tell you get a job.
No.
They tell me.
And I have the same freedom of speech. I have the same freedom of speech to tell people, those who tell me to get a job, who don't donate 1 penny to me, don't come to Elvis Travels, I'll ban you. I have that same freedom of speech also.
All right, now moving back to the build, having just cleared that off. The only thing I can tell you, Marshall, is I'm going to do my level best to do the best build that I can do.
Well, to be honest with you, in other words, if you want to do the build, that's up to you.
No, it's not a question now, Marshall. Then I won't do the build. Well, okay? So enjoy your holiday. All right? I'm not going to play the psychology game with you.
No, that's fine.
All right. I'm just saying, I'm not going to play the psychology game.
No,
You know you want the van built, Marshall, but you don't have the ability to just face people on a side chat and their comments. That unnerves you.
I just think they're low-life trolls that won't give me a penny and they can just go to hell. And I don't really...
that unnerves you so much that it just...
I can't stand these people. They're low lives. They're haters. They won't donate 1 penny and stuff. They're just here to put me down and to give me a thumbs down. And they're here and they've been working on this for 5 years, is they want me and Rosie's friendship to end. That's what they want. The majority of the trolls that are there. Now, I'm not here to tell Rosie what to do on her channel. I'm not here to tell her what to do in her life. She can do whatever she wants. But to me, these people don't mean nothing. They don't mean absolutely nothing.
To me, they mean something.
Well, that's fine.
And you know, I enjoy having the people on my chat, and the most part, they're very supportive people. But I can't muzzle people for having an opinion on here. No. Okay,
they can have their opinion. They can have their opinion and tell you not to do the van build, and you can listen to them.
Well, I'm not listening, but I'm not going to play the reverse psychology game of you don't have to do the van build. You know, we drove up here specifically because you wanted to get the van restoration done. Okay, which is fine.
You can do whatever the people want.
There's fine. It's not what the people want, Marshall. It's not what the people want. It's what I want to do with my life. And I told you at this point in time, I would be willing to do something like that. Okay?
Right.
All right. But I'm not going to get all unnerved because people have a difference of opinion. I take crap. I mean, I did the hangout last night. I took a lot of crap. I didn't delete comments and stuff like that on last night. Why? Because I termed it an adult-rated hangout. And if people didn't like the content, they would just leave and go to another chat. I assume people that were there because they wanted to be there and enjoy the show last night.
Right.
So,
in my opinion, with the trolls, all it does is they intimidate and bully people not to support a YouTuber, a content creator, me or anybody else. It's a mob mentality of hate and intimidation. Nothing comes good out of these trolls. Absolutely nothing. I've had 390 people watching me at Freedom Lake Park. Okay? I've had 3,000 people watch a hangout when they called and told the police I was a pedophile and filming kids. So numbers to me, having 326 people watching is nothing to me. Having 3,000 people on a hangout is nothing to me. It's having a mass amount of people means nothing if those people, if all they have in their heart is hate. And it has nothing to do with a fan bill. It has to do with hate and stuff.
You know, don't be so concerned about what numbers are all the time. Then, if it's just trolls out there,
that's all it is.
You know, then don't ever ask how many people are watching and stuff. Just assume it's all trolls watching. That's all.
It's not all trolls watching. There's a lot of people out there watching that like me that have donated thousands of dollars to me over the years.
That still support you.
Exactly. There's still
there's still some people that feel like that they want to support you because exactly what you perceive happens. They want to be the game changers that step up and say, I don't like the way that you're treated on YouTube, Elvis. Here's some money towards the van build and stuff like that. Right. People are unpredictable. That's all I've learned.
You never know what people are.
You never know what they're going to do.
You just never.
And I don't say that. I just say that I've been shocked in the almost 7 years on YouTube. I've seen it all. I've seen stuff that I would have never gone to Las Vegas. I would have figured 1,000 to 1 shot, and I've seen it happen on YouTube, and that's absolutely floored me. I think that the van needs to be caught right now. The things need to be addressed right now for your long-term health and safety. This is how I feel as a friend of yours. To simplify your living conditions, make it less complicated inside of a van. Have a nice bed. Have a big area to sleep in. But understand that there are engineering things that have to be done and safety things that have to be done back there. Am I overemphasizing money? Probably. Reason being, because every project I've ever been in, the money
I think anybody who wants to donate to me, they'll donate to me. And people who don't want to donate and want to hate are going to hate. And that's all that matters. But telling me to get a job has nothing to do with the van build, has nothing to do with my RV channel, has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Now they can talk it, that's their opinion. It's just like saying,
Well, that's what I'm
I
saying.
can
So
get my
I'm not going to
opinion.
get upset about
No,
it
I'm not.
if Cobra John says get a job. I'm going to be
No,
like,
I'm not.
this is what I don't want to say. This is what most people would do. And
Yeah,
again, Marshall, I'm not telling you what to. I want to be very clear about
right.
this. I'm not telling you how to live your life, but there's a certain thing about going through life smoothly or going through life with difficulty.
Why
And
don't they tell D to get a job when he's hanging out with you?
he is good. He did get a
He got a
job.
job right now, but
Yeah.
when he's hanging out with
Yeah.
you in Vegas for 2-3 months,
Well,
walking
his
there,
intention was to work, and he did work. He did pick up some
well,
jobs when he was there,
well, that's
and there
fine.
were people that called, "D, you're a
Yeah,
bum.
yeah, they
You're
can.
a deadbeat dad." He took a tremendous amount of
Right.
abuse.
So
You're
this
a
is going to be
knifer.
the exactly. So
You're a attempted murderer, and he took all kinds of crap.
right,
But he bounced back. He bounced back from that. So.
right.
I'm not. I don't take responsibility for anybody else on YouTube now. If I enjoy doing the work, that's fine. So, I'm gonna go get another drink here. So, take over, Marshall, for
Now, I
me.
don't have nothing else to say. I don't have nothing else to say to the trolls because this isn't my chat. This isn't my channel. I don't tolerate trolls and hate on my channel. I don't. This is Rosie. This is her channel. I can't tell her what to do. It's not my channel. But I don't think that. I just think that if I'm going to do a van build and I'm going to want to garner support for my fans, I've got to do it on my channel, Elvis Travels. I've got to find those people and organize those people that want to support me and help me in doing what I'm doing, and I have to do it on Elvis Travels. Uh, Sharing it here with you guys. Yeah, there's a lot of good people that watch Rosie from the drama community. Women that I think that would support me from the drama community, but the rest of these people on the bottom of YouTube uh, that watch Rosie, most of them are not going to support me, and that's fine. They can come in here, and Rosie says, "Don't look at the numbers. Let's not look at the numbers. Don't watch how many people are watching. Don't look at the views. The bottom line is that there's a lot of trolls on YouTube." And you can give all the thumbs down you want for Rosie, all the negative comments. You can flood the side chat with say get a job, and it doesn't make a difference to me because, like I said, on my channel, this is her channel. She runs it the way that she wants. I don't tell her what to do in her life. She's a grown person. She's an adult.
Nor do I
She's,
tell you what to do on your channel.
exactly.
So.
I'm not telling her what to do on her channel. I'm just saying my opinion that in order to garner support. In other words,
Well, there's people that are going to be supportive. You know that people are there. You know that there's people out there, as you say, that are willing to swim against the tide, and step forward and contribute. I recognize that. Like I said, I've seen shorter odds in Las Vegas of things that have just shocked. I know there's people out there that want to be game changers. There's people that like to. I've got people on PayPal that tell me, that I can't publicly, I wouldn't do a super chat, but I'll do a PayPal because I don't want abuse
right.
or things like that. And I know for a fact, and you guys know for a fact too, that some people will step forward and they will. It's just the realities of YouTube.
That's just how it is.
And that's why, to me, like the PayPal has been a nice thing for tips and stuff like that, and it also allows people to just
one thing I want to say,
quietly
I want to say this.
without
I want to talk
fanfare.
about this for a second. I want to chime in. In 2014, I got fired from my security job in March of 2014. That's the last time that I had a job. I was getting unemployment for the whole year, and I saw Rosie and the Glamorous Life raise thousands of dollars for Amanda May. Thousands of dollars are raised for the motorhome.
I've raised thousands of dollars for many people.
For a lot of people.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I said, okay, you know what? I saw Amanda May making all this money. I'm like, well, if she can do this, why can't I do this? And in January 2015, when I had my first GoFundMe and I made $1,500 in one day, and I said to myself, wow, I didn't know how much people were going to give. I didn't know how many people watched me, but they gave. And I said to myself, wow, I just did what Amanda May did. I just made thousands of dollars in one day. And then I said to myself, wow, this is cool. I didn't know that the power of YouTube. And then I felt it that one day. Now, we look at it this way. Back when Rosie was helping with Glamorous Life to raise money for Amanda May, we had a lot of people supporting. Did we have trolls? Yes, we had trolls. But we didn't have this scale of people watching. We didn't have 326 people watching. We didn't have 3,000 views on a Hangout. We didn't have this many people watching. It was a smaller group of people. Yes, there were trolls, but there weren't as many trolls, and there were more people who helped. So it was a different environment than what it is right now.
Hey, Katie, so you have a good night, honey.
So all I'm saying is this: is that no, I don't want Rosie to do a GoFundMe for me in her name. I don't want her to raise money for me or anything. I can do it myself. And those people who want to help out, they can help out. And those people who don't want to help out, they don't have to help out.
That's my philosophy. That's always been my philosophy on YouTube.
Right, exactly.
But you have to stand and fall on your own merits in the court of YouTube.
And the only thing in a nutshell is I'm saying that I differ from Rosie in running my YouTube channel. When people want to give and support, they don't want to be bullied and intimidated by these trolls. They don't want to be bullied and intimidated by these trolls. Some people will give privately, anonymously on PayPal. Some people, won't give, whatever the deal is. Now, I'm just saying it is what it is. Rosie allows a free platform, freedom of speech on her channel. She wants everybody to come in here. And if you guys want to come in here and say 7K every night and say, get a job, that's your freedom of speech. But I also have the freedom of speech to say that I won't allow my supporters and people who support me and who want to donate to me to be bullied and intimidated and attacked and harassed by the trolls. I won't allow that on Elvis Travels. I don't care. I don't need.
And you know what, Marshall? So that's fine.
And that's where I.
Like I said, January 1st was a game changer for me. I just stopped. I stopped getting involved with other people's channels and stuff like that because all it does is end up making me miserable and you, for example, miserable. There's no percentage in it. Right. The only thing you can do truly to make yourself happy is just to pursue your dreams and what you want to do. And I think if somebody goes out and they say, I'm a YouTube persona and I want to make a go of YouTube, I used to be very adamant in the fact that, oh man, I really worry about there might be a day and, because I'm a worrier. I'm a future person. I was a worker bee for 46 years. All I could envision.
Can I read what Glamorous Life said?
Yeah.
What did she say?
Wait a minute.
I want to read what she said. If you could go back. Good.
Let me see. Just a quick. Hey Rosie, when I'm able in a month or so help you, I will. Wow. Now I'll take that, trolls. Elvis emailing.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Glamorous Life Cat. But what I'm saying is, I'm just saying what the people want to say. If they want to say 7K because they heard me say 7K in Toronto and get a job, I'm telling them, go ahead.
Let me just finish my thought because there's just no, to me, there's no real percentage in doing that. I just have to do what makes me happy. I don't have that many years left on this earth. Right. But I would be that kind of person that would worry, Marshall was, Bobby and I would be talking to you Vegas, what's going to happen one day? But, and as I told Dave the Fisherman way back in December of 2017 in January when we had the whole Alamo and the whole thing like that is, and it's distasteful and people are going to get pissed off when I say it, but it's the pursuit of happiness in America. If a person wants to try to go out and make a go of YouTube, and I can just say my thoughts one time to them. I don't have to keep saying the same thing over and over again. At that point, if Marshall or whomever chooses to continue going forward and pursuing it, he knows that it's his responsibility to the future at that point. It's not my responsibility anymore. But I do express my opinion. And am I concerned for his future? Yes, I am. But I'm not going to be the one to stand in front of somebody's dreams and say, you can't do this thing, and it's not my place to do that.
And one thing I want to say about Rosie is that, what did Glamorous Life say? Scheming. Yeah, I just want to say this.
I'm sorry, I don't
just
know
want to say
whether I
this.
should.
That
Should I put the chat slow down on here tonight? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean,
Maybe I'll just put the. I don't even know.
you got to go in the settings to do that. But
Yeah, I'm not going to
so
do.
who
It's
really cares?
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I just want to say
I'm
that.
sorry, guys. The chat's moving fast here.
I just want to say that since I've known Rosie since about 2014 when she came in our community, she had a very close group of people, her friends. I mean, we know, Greg and Ellie and everybody else. Cooper, a lot of these people that have watched her for years, Nicole, these people that she was really close to. I mean, she's closer to these people than you guys on the side chat, okay? And one thing, I was shocked when Rosie went against the grain and met Dave and Becca. She went against the grain, and a lot of people went against her. A lot of people went against her, but anyway, she went ahead and met them. And anyways, people got upset. Some people came back. Some people didn't come back. And new people came.
Good night, Janet.
The bottom line is that I don't think Rosie isn't the kind of person who likes to go against the grain. She likes to have everyone be happy.
Yeah.
She likes to be the life of the party.
Well, of course, I like everybody happy.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's impossible to make everyone happy.
That's right.
It's just impossible and stuff. And
I wanted to have ownership of my own channel. Yeah. I wanted to just be able to step away.
Right.
And the people I care about, I still care about on here, and I still communicate some of the
Right.
people that you mentioned on here.
Right.
But to me, I want to be out traveling and living life, plain and simple. So, but no, I'm not sure. I'm just trying to read that. Let's see. You can't do this for 20. Well, it's like I say, I've seen it all on YouTube, and to me, it's an interesting thing to undertake a van build. It requires a high degree of patience and cooperation, and realizations that you can't have everything that you want, but at least you can try to build to a foundation that it's easy to then add on the units you want.
Right.
Like get a good basic solid frame and build out compartments for future batteries for solar, and try to think ahead a little bit so you don't have to reinvent the wheel and take it all out again in 2 years. That's my whole point. That's all I tried to do is to just look forward enough to try to visualize where you might be in 2 years, and you might you might inherit $1 million from somebody, I don't know, and the battery bays will be there.
Well, I'll be honest with you that I've come to the point in my life now on YouTube and with the van life that I didn't know how far I was going to take this on YouTube and how long I was going to live the van life, but I've considered that if people don't support me, and if I don't see my life as a success or positive influence on YouTube, that I'm probably going to quit the van life and get off of YouTube altogether. I have that option to do that, and I can do that at any time that I want. I can quit the van life. I can get a job and get off of YouTube, and you'll never see me here again. And you'll have to have somebody else to talk about. There won't be Elvis Travels anymore or the Lisa Marie to talk about. And I can do that right now. I can do it tomorrow if I want. And I don't have to have you people to tell me to do that. I can do it on my own. So I don't have to have. I'm 37 years old. I'm going to be 38 years old this winter. I don't have to have. I'm a fully grown man. I'm an adult. I know how to live my life and what I need to do. And I don't need anybody telling me that I need to get a job. I can get a job without you telling me to get a job. I can quit living the van life. I can go get an apartment just like everybody else and come and get off of YouTube, and you'll have to talk to somebody. You'll have to talk about somebody else besides Elvis Travels. I can do that. I can do that tomorrow if I want. So to me, it's no sweat off my back. If people support me, they support me, and if they don't, they don't, and I can get off of YouTube. It's
Well,
not
we'll
the end
see
of the
what
world.
happens.
It's not the end of my life. But my thing is this: is that I run my channel a certain way. Rosie runs her channel a certain way, and that's just the way I see it. And I can't tell her how to run her channel. And to me, having a mass amount of trolls attacking me is not what's best for my life or for what I'm doing on YouTube or to garner support. I don't think it's healthy mentally. But Rosie runs her channel the way she wants. She gives people the freedom of speech, and as long as they're not attacking my family, then it's
Yeah,
fine.
my
It's freedom of
mods
speech.
they do a good job of
It's
that.
freedom of speech.
I'm just saying,
You know.
to me, there's nothing offensive when somebody tells you get
No.
a job, or they're just expressing an opinion.
Exactly. They say get a job in 7K all night and repeat.
Yeah, people
and
told
blow it
me
up.
go back to work. Don't. You're only 61. Go back to work. Get a job. You almost feel guilty. That's why I'm trying.
Well, Rosie didn't listen to people. You guys told her don't meet Dave and Becca, and what did she do? She met Dave and Becca. All those people that went on her channel. What happened? You don't even talk about Elvis Travels. Talk about all the people that were on her panel. Most
not all
of them,
the people.
not all the people, but most of them.
And I still talk to those people today.
Right. So it's like people can cement whatever you want into Rosie's head. At the end of the day, she's going to do what she wants to do. She's not going to do what I want to do or what you want to do. She's going to do what she wants to do. All I can do is just give her my opinion.
I think everybody would be the same on YouTube. When you have a channel, you have to get up. You have to do the things that you have to present yourself the way you want to present yourself on YouTube. I found that when you try to accommodate as many people as possible, sometimes you end up at a point of misery.
If you lived your life and did what these people wanted you to do, you wouldn't be living your life.
Well, that's the expectation.
If you listen to everything that these people said and say, okay, it'd be like being a robot. I mean, it'd be like, let's have a laundry list. How should Rosie live her life? What should she do? Or how should Elvis live his life? If we lived our lives,
well, then we wouldn't be
living our life.
We actually wouldn't be what people wanted to see. They would want to see you have successes or have failures. They wouldn't want to They wouldn't want to program you. They would just enjoy following along whatever crazy decisions that I make, or the things, meeting Dave and Becca, or doing other things. There'll be 100 things in the future there'll be things I do that make people mad.
You can tell me to get a job in 7K all you want, but tell Rosie what she should do in her life. Tell her what she should eat, what kind of car she should get, where she should travel. Have a laundry list of things for her. You've already said about me. What's your list for Rosie? What do you want her to do? You want her to go back and get a job? Do you want her to get a job too? Hold on. Rosie's not even retirement age yet.
Oh, no.
I guess it's supposed to be 62 or 66, 67, right?
Yeah.
Is it time for you to get a job too, Rosie?
I guess so.
Should you get a job? Hold on. How many hours should Rosie work? What kind of job should she get? Hold on. Should Rosie still be on hormones? Hold on, let's have a laundry list of stuff for Rosie to do too. Should Rosie sell the Rancho?
I hear a lot of it, Marshall.
Come on, I'm going to do the Hulk Hogan thing. Let me hear it. What should Rosie do in her life? Hold on.
Oh,
Can I hear it?
Oh, Lord.
What else do you want her to do?
A lot of people do tell me what to do, Marshall.
What do you want Rosie to do? Let's talk about what Rosie should do.
At the end of the day, I think that people will look at your heart. I mean, to me, that's the bottom line.
Right.
And there's people that honestly look at you, Marshall, and they may not, and I think this is most of the people out there, and I could be dead wrong, but my thought is they don't like the decisions that you make, but they don't hate you as a person. You know what I'm saying?
If people
they see you sailing into this massive headwind of half of a mix of worrying about one day when you're 50 and you might not have anything, and they have this idea in your head like they don't want to see you under a Chicago overpass in a box.
I want to ask you a question.
Now I think that people care about you more than you think that they do.
I want to ask you,
and they want to drive you to a point where they think the logical thing to do
Right.
is to get a job.
Let me ask you a question. I have 7,200 subscribers approximately now, right?
Yeah.
I want to ask you a simple question. How many of my subscribers out of the 7,200% are trolls? What's your opinion?
I don't know. You did a survey.
I'm just giving you a personal
one
opinion.
night. I don't
Your
know.
personal opinion. Okay.
I don't know if subscribers. I will say, let's say people that come on your chat. What percentage?
Just your opinion.
Yeah, I'm missing. I'm sorry, I missed this.
Oh.
I have my text to speech. Thank you. I missed
okay.
that. My apologies, whoever.
But the
I
only
feel like
reason
a total dick now. I haven't missed that. I think people care about. I think that.
But the simple
a
reason I
lot of
brought that
people
up
care on just a compassionate human level about
the simple
having
reason
having a life and having some happiness apart from.
the simple reason I bring that up is because I know you've said before that the 80-90% of my viewers are trolls, which I disagree with you.
Well, your live streams.
If that was the case with Miss
Would you
Cully,
think your live streams are trolling you, or would you say that they're fans over there?
I think it's 50-50. I don't think it's 80-20.
All right,
But the reason I bring it up that up is because Miss Aloha from Hawaii did over a month unsub Elvis. And how many subscribers did I lose out of 7,200? 150. 150 subscribers. Now, are those really 150 people, or are they trolls of double, triple accounts? So if I had a lot of people who really hated me, who wanted me off of YouTube, who wouldn't donate to me or support me, why would I not lose more? Why would I only lose 150 subscribers? Why not lose 5,000?
Yeah, it's like Gino
Why not lose
said.
3,000?
Gino said some of us want to give you advice. Yeah.
Well, you can give me the advice that you want.
Hello, Lar.
You can say it all you want online. I don't really care. But the bottom line is that
Night D.
a person can live their life. You either live your life the way you want to live, or you listen to what people tell you, and you live the way they want you to live. You let them control you and dominate you mentally.
Well, I think that's
what it boils down to.
That's a ticket to misery. I think is to do that. So. I think you have to make your own way, and I came to the conclusion with some of the decisions that you make, you'll lose some people along the way, but you'll gain people that like the direction you're going, and they like that. It was a big turning point for me in 2019. Because, all of life changed from just static here on the Rancho to almost at least half-time travels for the future and things. That was a big switch to pull away from panels. And as much as you say, yeah, you like, panels are fun if you get the right mix of people.
Right.
I understand that. Hey, Vinny, how you doing? How you doing, Vinny? So, it's just the way I feel about it. But like I say, you make your own decisions about what you want to do in life. Because ultimately, if things go good, I will cheer. And if things go bad, I won't probably be around one day, And, when you're in your older years, and I don't want you to be the kind of person that ever looks back with any kind of regret or anything. And that's only if you look at me as a mother figure, a mother would say that to you, I love you, but just think about the future a little bit and have a good day. And here's your lunch.
Well, I look at it this way that I got the Lisa Marie on my own money. I didn't ask anybody $1 to buy the Lisa Marie. I paid $7,300 for the Lisa Marie. I had to work my butt off to get the Lisa Marie. I've worked my whole life. I've worked since I was 16 years old. My first job was at Wendy's. I worked at Wendy's. I've worked for multiple security companies. I've worked and paid for what I have. And if people don't consider YouTube a job, well, it is a 1099 self-employed contractor job at YouTube, Google. It is a job. YouTube is a job. It is a 1099 self-contractor, self-employed to YouTube. So that is a job. So when you tell me to get a job, well, guess what? I already have a job. I already have a business. That job in business is YouTube. It is a job in business. And there's no other way around that. So that's my answer to you people, and I've said it before many, many times. So you can say get a job in 7K all night, all day, spam Rosie's chat, give her a 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 thumbs down. It doesn't make a difference to me. I don't really care. I'm just gonna say, like I said, I'm not gonna tolerate that on my channel. She can do it on hers. That's what she wants to do. But that's the bottom line. So I'm just here to support Rosie, and
Well, we're here to talk about the
and-
van build, and people are going to be interested in watching the process going forward.
I mean,
It's an interesting thing, see what you can do with a 30-year-old camper van. How nice can you make it on a slim budget? How, a lot of elbow grease goes a long way for covering up money.
I mean, it is what it is. So, I just think that the environment on YouTube right now is very toxic. It's very hateful. It's very evil. It's not the same environment that I saw in 2014. Like I mentioned, when I got the idea that I'm going to ask support from the people because I saw all the support that Amanda May was getting. Then the first YouTuber that was in our community that happened to be transgendered that came into the RV community to get a lot of money from people. And you've seen a lot of people get money too on the RV community for their. Bob Wells is raising money for vans and building vans for people and giving out vans. And I think that's the thing with Rosie is that she hasn't really delved into the RV community. She's never went to Quartzsite. She hasn't really collaborated with any other RVers. And the more that the more that she kind of sticks around with this community that she's in, she doesn't really care about growing her channel. To her, this is just a hobby. It's not a life. This is just a hobby that she does. She enjoys sharing her life with people.
It's a much more intense proposition.
To me, I'm more, and I've kept my channel.
For me, it's like I ran the race and I'm just added pasture.
Rosie's already had all her channels demonetized. I'm not demonetized. I'm serious about my monetization and AdSense. She doesn't really. It's just a hobby of hers. So we're,
That's good. So you know what you got to do.
So
to do this, that's fine. I mean, it's not a bad way to be in that, to be at that situation.
But as a person from the RV community,
actually, it allows me to make really pursue what I want to, put the content on that I want, and there'll be other content going up too. Now. Next time we can actually get down to the nuts and bolts. You wanted a piece of paper and a sketch pad to draw out exactly what your thoughts were on the inside.
Well, I look at it this way with I know Rosie says don't pay attention to how many people are watching, and I'm not going to pay attention because this is her channel. This is her show. I'm not going to say how many people are watching. I know a lot of people watch. I don't care how many people are going to watch this, but I think that. Talking about the van build in particular is not very beneficial and helpful and healthy and positive for me to do it on Rosie's channel because all it is a bunch of trolls. It has to be done on Elvis Travels. It has to be done with people who are really interested in supporting me and helping me with this van build. Now, will some of Rosie's followers help
I got some very good... by coming out and talking about it tonight, I got 4 or 5 very good suggestions that I didn't think about in doing the build tonight. So there was a definite upside.
I don't feel that talking about the van build on Rosie's channel is a good idea because yes, will there be some women in the drama community that will help out and support? Yes, probably anonymously on PayPal because they don't want to be bombarded and crucified by the trolls. But I think talking about the van build in particular and the van life and the build will be better to do it on my channel. So people that would want to come in and support and listen to it.
No problem.
I think it would be better.
It's one thing making I want to be able to talk about it because it's a significant part of my life. But will I have hangouts directed to that end? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, because doing it on
Rosie's
channel, it's it's hard for me to see, well, where are my supporters? When there's a sea of trolls that are spamming the channel and
That's
intimidating,
fine.
bullying people. It's not really,
I got no issue with that.
yeah, it's,
You
it's
know,
not really beneficial to me or to my followers, because I'm not going to allow my followers to get attacked by the trolls. Number one, I'm not going to allow my followers. I want to identify who my followers are. I'm not going to let them get attacked by the trolls, and I'm going to support them. So I just don't think that it's positive.
look, that's fine. I
So
can talk about a lot of different things and have
right,
fun hangouts and not have to worry about
right.
talking about that.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's going to be recognize this. It'll be a significant part of my life, and I broadcast my life every day here
right.
on YouTube. Do I need to dwell down again on the nitty gritties of a van build? No, I don't need to on this channel again.
Yeah,
But generalities, the subject of it is fine. But you make a good point. It's probably better directed
towards
to
my
be
audience,
discussed
exactly.
on with your audience
Right.
on there, which is fine. I will
So
only talk about it topically now in terms of problems. I will be doing my own videos as I go along, and just mainly from a engineering point of
right.
view and stuff like that. So I think that's a good idea. I think that's a very good idea.
I think Rosie
You know,
should
I'm
show.
more. I want to be more entertaining anyway, and I want to. This is just one aspect of my life because I want to get back and I want to start doing the vintage audio again. I want to take Marshall to the gun range again and have some fun out there. I want to.
Right.
I want him to critique some of the food around the area here and to do. I don't want it to be all about the van.
Right.
Let him mainly handle the van on this channel, and yes, I'll do uploaded content of just about my thoughts that'll be specific on that, and that's fine because I
Yeah.
need to balance it with
Yeah.
Missy Jenn and Halloween and all the other things that
Right.
make it fun here on the.
I think that Rosie should chronicle what we're gonna do to the van, video-wise, as
Hey,
far as
random
content.
trucker.
What's done to the van? Of course, that's content, chronicling it. But I think talking about it and
Hey.
trying to garner support should be done on my channel.
I agree.
Because my viewer base, my people who want to support me, I can identify them and see them on my channel. And I know a lot of people will kind of come over from Rosie's channel onto mine, and I just
That's
think
good.
because
I think that's very sensible. I don't see any issue with that at all. I think that's a very good idea.
I mean,
Um,
that's just my
I
opinion.
think that's
on that.
great because I want to have more of like the fun kind of what's going on and what's
Because-
happening and
because
do that.
my point is there's a lot of new people watching.
I don't want to
Most of these-
stand in the way of
Yeah.
your. If you think you have the potential to tap the people that can help you, I don't want to be the person that. I don't want to be the roadblock to that. I want your efforts to be clear path to you. I want to keep my channel a variety
Right.
channel that does a ton of different things on here.
Exactly.
You need to be laser focused on
on
this
the van
van
build.
build.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
I don't need to be. So for that reason,
She's got a
because-
variety of things that she can
Yeah.
do, and I just think that
Yeah. How you doing, Debbie?
that's my
That's a
thing.
good idea. I think it's a good idea. I have no issue with that at all.
Right. So it's like I think my fans that watch me, that are interested in helping me out or watching me, seeing what's going on, is beneficial. So
Yeah, is Juice in here? Yeah, I want to just as I get ready to wrap up. I'm going to be on a little longer, but Juice, I finally got back to the comments on the Tijuana, a night in Tijuana, and I couldn't figure out what Juice was talking about. He gave a timestamp, and towards the end of when I was walking down Hooker Row, there was a guy. If you remember the old Geico caveman commercials, there was a guy standing next to one of the hookers that looked like he came right out of that Geico commercial. And I have to tell Juice, man, good spot on that. I went back and I spit out my coffee when I saw that. That was astounding, Juice. What a pickup on that. That was absolutely incredible. I also want to say some words last night to hang out on Rosie McNamara channel. It was adult-rated, adult content for a reason. A lot of people talked about it today. What's up, Whiskey? And you know, I tagged it as such 18 plus content. My opinion is if you didn't like the subject matter, you would just leave and move on. But again, I'm a person that lets people express their opinions. I hold my ground when it comes to women. I stand up for women, but I'm not going to put a sock in somebody else's mouth, and you know, especially when it's adult rated hangout on a C channel of mine. I figure people are there to just listen to the conversation one way or the other. If they want to nitpick it apart the next day, that's fine. But it's something that I enjoy doing, having some adult conversation and things on that channel, and that's specifically why I set up, specifically why I have that channel for that. But for those that didn't like the content, I'm sorry, you know. But having that kind of content is fun for me. I can't always control what comes out of people's mouths, but it's fun to have a channel where you can just be all adult content rated stuff all the time. Any final words? So,
Yeah,
so
one
talking
final
about
word.
talking about the van build will be on his
Yeah, it's not benefit.
channel. Talking about just fun everyday life stuff will be on my channel here too. Marshall's always welcome to sit in, but yeah, I'm not going to really get down to particulars of you know, what's going on with the van build anymore. I don't feel like it's my responsibility to do that. I think
Rosie's got a lot of other things going on.
yeah, and I feel like I don't need that. So Marshall will have a clear path to the people that want to, those who choose to help. It won't be any blocking that happens as a Rosie. And people will come here to just enjoy the hangouts and stuff like that, and that'll be fine. That's all I want. I don't want controversy. I don't want people upset on here. I don't want Marshall upset. I don't want my side chat called trolls. I just want to have fun. That's all I want to do.
Exactly. Like when, like I said before, when all the money was raised, and I heard Glamorous Life come in and say she's gonna. Well, first of all, she came in and said she was gonna support me. Then she commented and said, "I'm just effing with the trolls." It's the same thing like she told me a year ago. I'm gonna help you with $800 for dental and backed out on it. So I don't take her for her word for what she's saying, because clearly she's lied to me and lied to the people in the past to address that. Second of all, I think that there's a lot of good, decent people that watch Rosie. New people, women that are from the drama community. I think those people that
good night, honey, Lavender,
possibly could help out with the van build. I think that having a van build discussion, support, fundraiser, whatever you want to talk about it, it's more realistic to do it on my channel on Elvis Travels, and people who are genuinely interested in that. One thing I do want to say, just finally, that I want to say to Rosie, and I want to purvey a message that was given to her by RC Bully when he met her in person, and he told her, he said, "Rosie."
After he scared the hell out of her.
After he scared the hell out of her. And I want her to remember what he said. He said, "Rosie, I don't like the way that the trolls on your channel treat Marshall. I'm against that. I'm offended by that. And I'm against that. And there's a lot of other people out there like IRC Bully. And remember, you can give these people their freedom of speech and what they want to say. But you got to remember, there's a lot of people out there that like me, that watch me, they are offended, just like RC Bully was, by the way that Rosie's audience treats me. There's a lot of other IRC bullies out there, and I don't know how many of them there are. There could be 500, there could be 1,000, there could be 5,000. But there's a lot of people out there watching, and I hope on Elvis Travels, on my channel, just like Rosie has the freedom of speech to give you guys what you want to say about me, I hope that those people who support me on Elvis Travels when she's on my channel, you can tell her how you feel, if you feel the same way that RC Bully feels.
I don't ask for a Rancho on your chat. I just pop in.
I want to say on my end and stuff.
I just have asked for equal treatment. That's all. I'm no better or any worse than anybody else on your side chat.
Exactly. So,
but it can't be a surprise what people say here on here. There's a lot of history behind you, a lot of history behind me. So
and there's a lot of people who like me and watch me.
I know there's a measure of people that like you, Marshall. I get
Yeah.
that. There's a lot of people that think that you're a consummate entertainer and enjoy
Right.
the shtick, and I'd be stupid if I didn't believe otherwise. Okay, but I'm
And
saying
I
it's
want
a
to give those
great
people a
idea.
voice.
It's a great idea,
Right.
you know. But you're here. You're part of my broadcast your life thing here, at
Right.
least for the next couple months or so, and hopefully beyond. If we travel, it was a great experience and stuff. If I ask people to try to have a nicer, positive attitude, a lot of people will adopt that
Yeah.
on the channel. But a lot of people will watch you very closely to see how you
Well,
to see how you talk to people and
I
to see the
just
level
feel,
of
I just
respect.
feel that.
In other words, there'll always be an element of you get what you give on YouTube. And if you think that you give positivity in your chats, I have to tell you, no, you don't give positivity. You give a lot of negativity. For example, Kat came in here tonight. You already basically sold her down the river
but that's just
by
really what she
telling
said.
no, because she said she was just effing with the trolls here.
Right.
I'm not sure that she wouldn't give you something. I wouldn't ever dare.
Right.
I would just never dare to tell somebody like Kat, like, oh, you're just screwing with me. You lied to me before. I would grab onto the hope of, yeah, she might give me something, and be positive and thank you,
Right.
Kat. I really hope that comes to pass. But one of the things that I noticed about you, you'll drop to the negative of history, whereas Berg says, come up to present time and hope for the best in the future.
I think that
You know?
I think that my fans that represent me and support me will represent me and support me on my channel on Elvis Travels and not on here. They'll show up there.
I hope that they do.
I believe that they will, but I haven't really had an opportunity to have a hangout with Rosie on my channel. It's always on her channel, and I'm fine. I'll support her. But I think that when it comes to the van build in particular, with that particular thing, that my fans and followers are interested exclusively for that.
Well, I just think, when somebody puts out a hand like that,
Right.
I'm apt to just say thank you very much, and I hope that you're in a position that you can do that. So I don't know, but like I say,
Right.
you run things the way you want. So future discussions about the van build will be occurring on the Elvis Travel channel, which it probably should be from this point forward. I gave my thoughts on restoration of a 30-year-old camper van. There's nothing more for me to do, just roll up the sleeves and get, when I get clear and can get going. We already removed the rack to generator box and all that. Got inside with a tape measure. I'm pretty happy today. I have some good ideas. I want to do things positively and have a great experience for you, a great experience for me and the people here on YouTube. So I think that's the best idea you had tonight, to take those discussions over to the Elvis Travels channel. Vinny G. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close out the hangout. You can look forward to Marshall. I don't know, maybe he'll fire up his. I don't know when his next hangout will be. We went over to the flea market today. If you didn't see that, Missy Jenn put up a video today.
Right.
You were live today at the.
Yeah, I did a flea market live stream.
Yeah.
I think that
Good night, WDF.
I put up my rest of my Tijuana
Love
videos.
you, Camila.
I got a few videos coming up.
Night
Put out all the Tijuana videos, but I think that I need to touch base with my people that follow me. I probably have a live hangout from my van for my fans and
fire it up.
And then because like I said,
all right, head over to Elvis's. I think he'll do his own thoughts about things. But when it comes to me, keep your thoughts positive, Marshall, because I try to keep my thoughts positive about you. Okay, I'm the glass is always half full to me.
Well, I mean, and like I said, I just wanted to emphasize.
What's going on? Did he run the generator all night?
Like I said,
he was out boondocking. Good night, OKC.
Like I said, I respect Rosie's platform and that she gives people a freedom of speech. But there's also people on my platform that have their freedom of speech.
There we go.
And just like IRC Bully and
so
a lot
will
of
you be going live in a little while?
Yeah, I'll be going
Okay,
live.
so he'll be going
I'll
live
be
and
going
having
live
his
to
having
view
his thoughts on
to
there.
talk to you guys maybe about a half an
Crystal
hour.
Jones, good to see you in here. Thank you for coming by. Tara, I love you, honey. Thank you for meeting Elvis down and hanging out with us in San Diego. Nice to see you on the side chat. So yeah, look for his fire that up. Monique, love you, sweetie. Don't work so hard, and don't ever apologize for buying some coloring books. Okay, spend money on yourself, honey. You are worth it. And for those that supported, and I missed on the side with the tips or the subs tonight, thank you very much. And yeah, appreciate you guys very much. Have a good night. Woo! And see
Ooh, all
you
right.
in the morning. Thanks, everybody.